From this Easter egg that references the origin of Lego to a hidden lightsaber inside of R2-D2. These are 107 Easter eggs in Lego that you probably missed. Up first is an Easter egg hidden in the Stranger Things Upside Down set. In Season 2, Episode 4 of Stranger Things, Chief Hopper goes to investigate a pumpkin patch at a local farm. This ended up being a super important investigation since it revealed so much about the Upside Down. You can't see it once the Lego set is complete, but if you take a look at the instructions, you'll see that there's actually a pumpkin piece in the back of Hopper's car, referencing the pumpkin patch that he investigated. This is just one of the 21 Easter eggs in today's video, so make sure you watch all the way until the end. You won't believe that these Lego Easter eggs are actually real. Up next is a super secret Easter egg in the Minecraft crafting box set, but the only way you can find it is if you take the whole thing apart. Before you do that though, look at what this part of the set actually looks like. Okay, got it in your head? Now look at what happens when you take a few parts off. The base of this set is actually a map of the set itself. It's super subtle, and you might not notice it even if you build it yourself. But if you built this next set, there's no way you'd miss this Easter egg. I'm talking about the Lego Magic of Disney set. You can detach a lot of this set without taking apart any pieces, including some parts of Mickey Mouse. If you pop off the left arm, you'll find a brick-built pattern of Woody from Toy Story. Now, usually Lego designers won't make their Easter eggs this obvious, but this one wasn't actually made by a Lego designer. This set is part of the LEGO Ideas theme, which means a fan made this set, not one of LEGO's designers. The fans' favorite kids movie is Toy Story, so they wanted to pay homage to their favorite cowboy without fully including him in the set. Nice touch. Up next, the fourth Easter egg is hidden inside the LEGO Harry Potter Gringotts Bank set. Since this LEGO set is based on a movie series, there are loads of Easter eggs to choose from, but there's a certain one that's obviously the coolest. There are 3 vaults in this set, but I want to talk about the one at the bottom. This vault belongs to Bellatrix Lestrange, one of the main villains in the series. We see her vault in the Deathly Hallows Part 2, when Harry, Ron, and Hermione go looking for a Horcrux. While they were in there though, everything they touched started to duplicate, which made things very difficult for them. Now, you'd think there was no way to mimic this in a LEGO set, but you'd actually be wrong. If you open up Bellatrix's vault and push on the wall in the back, a bunch of golden goblets show up out of nowhere. They may not be duplicating, but this is a super cool way to reference that scene from the movie. If we're gonna talk about references though, then I have to show you this insane reference in the Legend of Zelda Deku Tree set. When you think of an Easter egg, you usually think about something hidden, but this one is actually in plain sight. After you build Link's house, you might notice a sign with a bunch of squiggles all over it. This isn't just any sign though. It's written in the language Hylian, and it reads, "It's a secret to everybody." This sentence is an Easter egg throughout the entire Zelda franchise, so it's awesome that LEGO continued the legacy in their set. While I'm talking about the Deku Tree set though, there's one more Easter egg that you just have to know about. In the Zelda games, there's a big plant-like character named Hetsu, who famously holds a pair of maracas. Well, you can actually build Hetsu in this set. And look, he even has his maracas too. Want to know something crazy though? They actually make noise. Listen to this clip. This was super easy to pull off too. All you had to do was put a stud in each maraca. It's simple, but it works really well, and it's a great Easter egg for true Zelda fans. Up next is a super funny Easter egg in the LEGO City Undercover video game. When it comes to video games, most Easter eggs are either secret endings or hidden items, but this one is totally different. This LEGO game is based on the LEGO City theme. Nothing more, nothing less. But for some reason, there's a Mario mystery block you can actually interact with. This game came out all the way back in 2013, so fans thought LEGO was hinting at a LEGO Mario game. But 11 years later, we still don't have that game, so the devs really just did this for fun. This next Easter egg though is probably the funniest thing you've seen in LEGO. As you probably know, LEGO loves hiding pieces inside of brickheads. There's a plant inside Eve, a small brain for Homer, and way more. But what do you think they put inside the Woody from Toy Story brickhead? Well, they actually put a few pieces of stuffing, which is hilarious, but it's also true. In Toy Story 2, when Woody was getting fixed, we saw on his arm that he was actually made of stuffing. Since I showed you Woody though, I have to show you what LEGO did for the Buzz brickhead too. Buzz isn't a doll like Woody. He's an action figure, so the stuffing pieces won't work here. So instead, LEGO threw in some makeshift battery pieces. Just like how we saw what Woody was made of in Toy Story 2, we saw Buzz's batteries in Toy Story 3 when he got reset by Lotso. So both of these Easter eggs are accurate with the movies. When it comes to movies and TV shows though, LEGO never misses their mark with Easter eggs. In the LEGO Batman the Animated Series series Gotham City set, there are too many references and Easter eggs to count. But there's one in here that definitely stands out from the rest. All the way in the bottom right of the set, there are two gray pieces sitting right next to each other. Looking at the shape, you might think they look like gravestones. And, well, that's because they are. These two gravestones represent Batman's parents, which is definitely a little morbid, but just wait, it goes deeper. If you take off the piece the gravestones are attached to, you'll find two brown ingots, and these are meant to be their coffins. I guess not every LEGO Easter egg has a happy ending. Up next is one of the funniest Easter eggs in all of LEGO, and it's in the LEGO Ninjago City Market set. This set is pretty big, having over 6,000 pieces, so it's a little difficult to find Easter eggs. But if you actually built this set yourself, there's no way you'd miss it. If you look at the top of the set, you'll see a bathroom, and believe it or not, this is where the Easter egg is. The toilet in this bathroom actually flushes and sends the poop through a drain system to the outside of the set. It's by far one of the funniest Easter eggs in LEGO, but it is pretty well known, so let me show you one that I guarantee you haven't seen before. This is the LEGO Paranormal Intercept bus set, part of the now retired theme Hidden Side. The bus is basically just a giant lab for the minifigs to work in. But what does every lab need? A computer. In the back of the bus, there's a micro PC setup with two monitors. Do you see it yet? The left monitor is showing a LEGO Bionicle game that's been canceled for years. The last time this video game was even playable was 2005, so people didn't even really know what it was. The Easter egg in this next set, though, is one that everyone recognized. This is the LEGO Bowser set, and since it's Mario, you already know there's gonna be some Easter eggs in here. First of all, Bowser can shoot a fireball out of his mouth, but that's not even what I'm here for. Once you build the set, you'll have this podium that Bowser is meant to stand on. Well, if you knock over the right pillar, it'll reveal a secret power box from the Mario video games. These power boxes are super helpful in game, and they're usually a little hard to find too. So it's cool that LEGO brought that theme over to this set. But if you thought that was it for LEGO Mario Easter eggs, forget about it, because I got one more for you. This is the LEGO question mark block set, and no, the Easter egg isn't just that you can reveal the 3 different worlds. In fact, it has nothing to do with the 3 worlds at all. It's completely hidden. If you go to the front of the block, there's a part of it you can actually pull up, revealing a secret Bowser lurking in the shadows. That isn't all though. If you take Bowser out and press down on what he was standing on, a secret battle arena will pop out at the bottom. This isn't just any battle arena though. This represents Bowser's Stadium from Super Mario 64, a classic level that a ton of Mario fans love. I know people aren't the biggest fans of these Mario sets, but you gotta give it to LEGO. These Easter eggs really are next level. But LEGO might have outdone themselves with this next Easter egg. If you watched my first video on Easter eggs, you might remember me talking about a laundromat laundering money in the Brick Bank set. Well, LEGO actually kept this Easter egg going in this police station set from 2021. On the right side of the police station building, there's a billboard from the laundromat that was doing the money laundering. This is one of the only times I've seen LEGO bring an Easter egg across multiple sets, especially one that they made themselves, so it was pretty cool to see. This next Easter egg though is probably one of the coolest ones in this whole video. Way back in 2006, LEGO released the LEGO Star Wars 2 The Original Trilogy video game, but there's a certain spot on Tatooine that you might have missed. In the Mos Eisley spaceport level, there's a giant sign promoting the LEGO Star Wars movie. Well, if you walk under the sign and swap to R2-D2, you can actually get inside this movie theater and see the LEGO Star Wars movie on the big screen. All you have to do is break the lights and chairs, rebuild them, and bam, the movie starts playing. Technically, it isn't a real movie, it's just cutscenes from the first LEGO Star Wars video game, but it's still sick either way. While I'm talking about LEGO Star Wars, let me show you an Easter egg in the 40th anniversary Death Star set. If you go around the side of the Death Star and pull down one of the panels, 2 studs will be sitting there, one black and one beige. Well, these studs actually represent Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader when they fought on the Death Star in the Return of the Jedi. LEGO loves doing stuff like this in micro builds, like they did it in the Little Hand set too. On the inside of the ship, there's a yellow and brown stud sitting right next to each other, and these two represent Obi-Wan and Anakin when they crash landed on Coruscant in the beginning of the Revenge of the Sith. There are a lot more Easter eggs just like these two in LEGO Star Wars sets, but let's just move on to the next Easter egg. The 19th Easter egg is hidden in the Lord of the Rings Rivendell set, and would you believe me if I told you it was actually evil? I know it may not look like it, but there's an evil here lurking in the depths, literally. If you take off the circular piece with all the chairs on it, you'll find a giant eye of Sauron sitting right there. Sauron is the Dark Lord in the Lord of the Rings series, and this eye is his symbol, so this is definitely a bad omen for Frodo and the gang. Let's move away from that though, and take a look at the Amazing Spider-Man art set. There isn't a lot of room for Easter eggs here, but I promise, there's one here for sure. This set came out in August of 2023, which is important to know because it came out after Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. There were a bunch of new characters in that movie, but one of the most popular ones was Spider-Man 2099. Now, take a look at the box for the Spider-Man art set. Notice anything? Well, this set comes with exactly 2,099 pieces. Listen, you might think I'm reaching here, but just remember, no Lego reference is done by accident. The designers always know what they're doing. And for the last Easter egg in this video, I have the perfect example of that. This is the Tales of the Space Age set, made in April of 2023, and it's actually a really tasteful set. With the 688 pieces, you can build 4 different 3D postcards, all of which look like a completely different part of the universe. As you can see, all of them have different color palettes, because the artist wanted to show what sunsets might look like on different planets. Speaking of the artist, this is where the Easter egg comes in. The man who designed this set has a name I can't pronounce, but all that matters is that he's Polish. Now, if we take a look at the back of these postcards, you might notice something at the bottom of them. On the blue and green postcards, there's a white piece and a red piece stacked on top of each other. Well, these very out-of-place colors were placed there by the Polish designer, and these pieces are the Polish flag. Lego designers love slipping in Easter eggs about themselves when they build sets, and what better way to do it than with this super subtle flag on the back? Hiding in the Death Star trash compactor diorama set. Fans of the Star Wars series will remember this scene from A New Hope, where Luke, Han, Chewie, and Leia get trapped in a trash compactor while trying to escape the Death Star. Not only does this set have movable walls, but it's also chock full of Easter eggs. From Han Solo's famous quote, "One thing's for sure, we're all gonna be a lot thinner," to even showing R2-D2 and C-3PO on the backside, who are trying to make sure that the rebels don't get squashed. But if all of that isn't enough for you, then just take a look at this. They even went as far as to include the Dianaga that lives inside the trash compactor. Overall, it's a pretty great Easter egg, but it's got nothing on some of the other ones in this video, so be sure to watch until the end. Jurassic Park is one of the most famous movies of all time, but most people who watched the series might have missed how the dinosaurs in the movie were actually created. In the movie, it's said that the awesome dinos we see on screen were created by using parts of salvaged dinosaur DNA and using frog DNA to fill in the gaps. Well, Lego took a liking to this fact and decided to throw a frog piece in the Jurassic Park T-Rex Rampage set. This level of attention to detail is what makes Lego sets so great, and the same thing can be said for the next set on my list. The United States Capitol building is one of the most important locations in the entire country. So when Lego decided to launch a set based on the building in 2016, they took a lot of time to make sure that a bunch of important details were included in the set. That meant adding an entire interior to show the Hall of Statues, which, as the name suggests, contains large statues of some of our nation's greatest people, from Dwight Eisenhower to Thomas Edison and even Amelia Earhart. There are a bunch of American heroes in the Hall of Statues. It might not be visible at first glance, but all you have to do is take the dome off the top and you'll be able to see it just fine. Let's move on from that though, and look at one of my favorite Easter eggs Lego has ever made. This is the Lego Homer Simpson Brickhead set. Sets in this theme are famously known for having parts on the inside. Every Brickhead set has a brain, but Homer's is a little different. Most fans of The Simpsons know that Homer is lazy, unprofessional, and just flat out dumb. His heart is in the right place, but he's lacking a lot in the brain department. Because of this, Lego did something really funny. Most characters have a 2x2 pink block for their brain, but for Homer, they gave him a 1x1 block instead. This is a pretty funny Easter egg, if I do say so myself. But let's move on to the next one. It's always a good day when Lego really gets into a franchise and pays homage to even the smallest detail. Before I move on to the next segment, I want to take a minute to thank the sponsor of this video, Raycon. I'm sure you've heard about Raycon in the past, but there's never been a better time to buy a pair of their earbuds. They just launched their upgraded model of the best-selling everyday earbuds, and they're the real deal. I personally love using them to watch YouTube and listen to music when I go on walks, and with the brand new features they've implemented, it's never been easier. If I somehow managed to drain the 32-hour-long battery life, I'd only have to charge them for 10 minutes to get an extra 90 minutes of battery life. And if I'm out for a walk and it's starts raining, I don't have to worry because the everyday earbuds are now IP66 water resistant. The everyday earbuds now also have active noise cancellation. So if all I want to hear is whatever's coming out of my earbuds, I can. The best part though is that they're super affordable and super comfortable too. Seriously guys, there's never been a better time to check out Raycons. So click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/minifigured to get 15% off your Raycon purchase plus free shipping. All right, back to the video. And that's exactly what they did when making the Clone Trooper Command Station set. In the movies, Order 66 was the cue for all the clones to turn on their allies, attack the Jedi Knights, and begin the Great Jedi Purge. And to honor that amazing scene, the set has exactly 66 pieces. While there's a chance that this was purely coincidental, it's more likely that the set designer was a die-hard Star Wars fan and did it deliberately. Now, this Easter egg is based on a pretty gruesome event in Star Wars, but this next one is just as bad. This is the Portal of Atlantis set, launched all the way back in August of 2010, and on its own, it's a great set. But if you manage to also get your hands on the 2007 Deep Sea Treasure Hunter set, then you might have noticed something a little interesting. Both of these sets share a minifigure, and in the corner of the Portal of Atlantis set, you'll notice a skeleton that coincidentally has the exact same getup as the rider from the Treasure Hunter set. Both of them even share the exact same helmet. See, I wasn't kidding when I said this Easter egg was gruesome, but it isn't the only Easter egg with some adult themes. If you look closely at the LEGO Detectives Office set, you'll notice that all the minifigures got together to smuggle cookies into the city. On the right, there's a woman in a red dress who's the one making the cookies. She prepares them at her home and then hides them in barrels so they can be transported easily. From there, these cookies are purchased by other residents all over the city. The best part about this Easter egg though is that this cookie operation was being run right under the detective's nose. It feels almost unfair to call this an Easter egg considering just how much effort was put into it. But let's move on to an Easter egg that almost no one noticed. In episode 7 of the Star Wars trilogy, there's a scene where Finn the Stormtrooper has blood on his helmet. This version of Finn became super popular because, like, come on, doesn't that look sick? Anyways, episode 7 of Star Wars took over 10 years to release, and as you can imagine, there was a crazy amount of hype around it. LEGO took this as an opportunity to make the LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens game, and this is where the Easter egg comes in. Since this is the movie where Finn had blood on his helmet, LEGO had to do something to censor it. So instead of there being blood, there was a green splotch of food smacked right onto his helmet. As per usual with LEGO games, there are a ton of jokes that were never in the movie they were made off of, and Finn's helmet is definitely one of them. LEGO absolutely loves doing stuff like this, but there's something they might love even more. If there's one thing that can be said about LEGO, it's that they absolutely love making forts. Back in 2015, they released the Nexo Knights themed Fortrix set, which had the numbers 375 and 6075 on top of the front gate. Eventually, fans managed to figure out that this was a reference to LEGO's iconic Yellow Castle set, which had the set number 375. On top of this, the set was also sold under the set number 6075 for 2 years during 1981 and 1983. These are some insane facts that only true LEGO fanatics could figure out. But enough about this. Let's move on to the next Easter egg. LEGO has been creating Marvel-themed sets for a long time now, and while I could talk all day about the number of details these sets have, there was something else that caught my eye in the Beware the Vulture set. This set contains the Shocker Van, and if you look closely, the license plate reads as AC-JR10. The JR in that license plate comes from Justin Ramsden, the person who designed the set. LEGO actually has a tradition that every license plate should contain the initials of the set designer, so you can find this in just about any LEGO set that has a car in it. Up next, let's talk about one of the coolest LEGO Star Wars Easter eggs. In the movie Return of the Jedi, when the group was trying to rescue Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt, there was an awesome scene where R2-D2 launched Luke Skywalker's lightsaber right out of his head. So when LEGO created the original R2-D2 set a few years back in 2021, they added a 2-scale version of Luke's lightsaber hidden inside R2's head. This is honestly a super cool Easter egg, but the next one is way cooler. LEGO has been adding more sets to its LEGO Ideas line over the past few years, and one of these sets is the NASA Apollo Saturn V set, which on its own is a really solid set and gives young builders a chance to learn more about how these spaceships are actually built. These sets also have some really cool details, like the fact that the Saturn V set contains exactly 1,969 pieces, to reference the year 1969 when the US landed on the moon. Though not all Easter eggs are this wholesome, so let's talk about a time LEGO taught kids about something they probably shouldn't have. LEGO's a family-friendly brand, They have unicorns for the kids and an Easter egg of money laundering for the adults. In the Brick Bank set, as the name suggests, there's a bank, along with some other buildings like a laundromat. The Easter egg here is when you put money in the washing machine. If you actually try to put anything inside of it, it just drops right into the bank. This is a pretty obscure reference about how criminals use businesses like laundromats to turn their money quote-unquote clean, and then can just go to the bank and withdraw it without any issues. It's one of the most unknown details to ever be put in a LEGO set, but it's definitely not there for kids. So instead, let's talk about a time LEGO paid respects to an amazing actor. This is the Ghostbusters Firehouse set from 2016, and this set still holds up really well today. It has a ton of Easter eggs in every nook and cranny. Like on the poster of Manhattan in the background, the pin marks the exact location of the firehouse. Or the little arcade game in the corner referencing the Marshmallow Man. But most importantly of all, on the pin board, there are two amazing Easter eggs. The first one are the initials MB, which belong to the set's designer, Marcos Bessa. And the second detail is a note which reads RIP HR, which is a small tribute to the actor Harold Ramis, who played Egon Spengler in the movies. Unfortunately, Ramis passed away in 2014, but putting him in a LEGO set is a great way to honor his memory. But now, let's move on to a LEGO Easter egg that spans across decades. LEGO has been around for nearly a century now, and started all the way back in 1932. They weren't making bricks back then though. They were actually making wooden toys, and one of their first toys was this yellow duck, which was made all the way back in 1935. Almost 9 decades later, in LEGO's 5th anniversary set, Megapolis City, that very same duck can be found, and it's hidden in plain sight. It's attached to a pole near the Ferris wheel, which is pretty hard to spot if you don't know what you're looking for. Whoever did this clearly has a lot of LEGO knowledge. I mean, this duck is old. Up next, let's talk about the time LEGO referenced real life. In the Rainforest Animals set, it's hard to miss this beautifully designed parrot. But if you're gonna have a parrot, you need parrot food, right? The set also comes with 3 brown pellets that are meant to be bird food. But if you try to feed the parrot, you'll find out that what goes in must always come out. Yeah, this bird literally poops out the food right after you feed it to him. This is a pretty funny Easter egg, but the next one might honestly be funnier. In the LEGO Marvel Superheroes game, there is an achievement named Don't I Know You, which you unlock the first time you group up as Captain America and the Human Torch. It's a fun little Easter egg related to how both characters are played by Chris Evans in their respective movies. Though some people speculate that it could also be related to how the first Human Torch fought Cap all the way back in the 1940s. But either way, it's a nice little detail for the die-hard Marvel fans out there. If you're a big Star Wars fan and an Indiana Jones fan, then you probably would have noticed this Easter egg in the Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark movie. Inside the tomb that held the Ark of the Covenant, there's a wall covered in hieroglyphics and some art showing the characters R2-D2 and C-3PO. In light of this, when LEGO made a set inspired by the movie, they made sure to include this little Easter egg for fans to find. I was super glad to see that LEGO carried this over into the set. But this isn't the only Easter egg LEGO took from a movie. Back in 2008, LEGO released the Speedboat Rescue set. For this set, LEGO took a lot of inspiration from movies and added just about whatever they wanted. One of the movies that they looked at was the Austin Powers series, where Dr. Evil famously asked for sharks with giant laser beams attached to their heads. And wouldn't you know it, right on the cover, we can clearly see Dr. Evil's dreams brought to life. It's not confirmed whether this was directly inspired by the movies or whether the set designers just thought it would be a cool thing to add. But either way, it's a pretty funny Easter egg. Moving on from that, let's talk about one more Easter egg from the LEGO Marvel Superheroes video game. The thing is, back in the 1960s, Marvel ran a special fan club called Merry Marvel Marching Society to promote its comics and give special prizes to some of their most dedicated fans. The club even had its own theme song, and to a lot of people's surprise, LEGO added this song not once, but twice to the Marvel Superheroes video game. First, you can hear the song in the background during the end credits of the game, but the second place is actually across your media bar. All you have to do is scroll over and the game will play the song for as long as you want. I have to say, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that theme song existed. Up next, let's talk about one of the best known inside jokes in LEGO sets: frogs. If you've made a ton of LEGO sets, then you've probably noticed how random frog pieces will be thrown in here and there. It's not certain whether this is meant to be a fun challenge or if there's another reason behind it, but in the last decade, designers have added frog pieces in as many sets as possible. The most famous one out of these is the Bonsai Tree set, where all the leaves are just pink colored frogs. If that doesn't change how you look at LEGO sets, I don't think anything will. But if you thought that was bad, I'm about to change how you look at minifigures too. Have you ever looked at your minifigures and realized that many of them age with time? In the LEGO world, 1 year is equivalent to around 2 months for us, which means that they age 6 times as fast as we do. And this is really apparent by looking at the LEGO City sets. In a Fun in the Park City People Pack from 2016, we can see see a young couple pushing their baby around the park. Then in the 2018 city pickup and caravan set, we can spot the same family, and the toddler has grown to around 12 or 13 years old. Then finally, 3 years later, we can find that same boy again in the city holiday camper van set, where he's now married and has a son of his own. Honestly, this is one of the coolest Easter eggs in all of LEGO, and really puts some perspective about how these characters have a life of their own. We all know that the first LEGO set was made in the 1950s, but it wasn't until 1989 when LEGO finally made their first Easter egg. This tile piece was released along with the original Pirates theme in 1989. It's just a simple treasure map, but after looking at it, fans came to two conclusions. There's not only a hidden skull here, but there's also a hidden whale too. If I'm being honest though, I only see the whale. This treasure map having a hidden skull in it is famously hard to see, so not everyone agrees that it's even there. But there's no argument for the whale. That little island on the left definitely looks like one. Now, obviously, LEGO has come a long way since this first Easter egg, and honestly, this is more of a reference than anything else. But if I'm going to tell you about the history of LEGO Easter eggs, I have to start at the beginning and work my way up. So let me take you to 2001 with the LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Classroom set. This was super early on in LEGO Harry Potter's lifetime, so it's super small, leaving the Easter egg right in front of your face. For some reason, LEGO decided to include the Mirror of Arise in this Hogwarts classroom, and looking at it, we can see Harry and his parents in the mirror. This is a direct reference to the Sorcerer's Stone, when Harry did this exact thing. However, the movie came out way after this LEGO set, so the designer did this completely from their imagination. Okay, this next Easter egg is a little bit different. There's a rumor that you can't subscribe to this channel in 3 seconds or less. I'm gonna start a timer. Let's see if you can do it. Ready? Go! Did you get it? I hope so, because it's time for the next Easter egg. As it stands, 2001 wasn't the worst year for LEGO Easter eggs. Like, there was a pretty cool one in the LEGO Alpha Team theme. This theme was based on the video game that came out first, and centers around a team of secret agents stopping the villain Ojal. Notice anything about that villain's name? Well, in case you missed it, it's actually LEGO spelled backwards. I think we can all agree that this is somewhat cool, but it's still pretty small in the grand scheme. So let's move up a year to 2002, when LEGO dropped an Easter egg that was 22 years in the making. It all started in April 2002 with the LEGO Star Wars Republic gunship. This set came with 8 minifigures, but the star of the show here is the Jedi Knight. See, this guy right here doesn't actually exist in the Star Wars universe, so when the set was originally released, he was just named Jedi Knight. 7 years later though, the LEGO Star Wars Visual Dictionary dropped, and this random Jedi Knight was officially named Jedi Bob. Now, this is already enough to be a super sick Easter egg, but just wait, it gets better. In 2024, LEGO dropped the Jedi Bob Starfighter, officially welcoming him into the LEGO Star Wars franchise. Now, I know this one technically isn't from the year 2002, but it was just way too good to leave until the end of the video. You see, the thing about LEGO Easter eggs is that most of them are in sets that are attached to movies like Star Wars, but not all of them are technically correct or done properly, like this TIE Bomber from 2003. For any die-hard Star Wars fans watching this, you noticed as fast as I did. Why in the world is this TIE Bomber blue? Well, according to the LEGO community, all TIE ships were originally supposed to be this sort of blue-gray color in the Star Wars movies. But because of technological limitations back then, they had to be a light gray in A New Hope. But this TIE Bomber set came out 26 years after A New Hope, so whoever designed this TIE Bomber had some crazy inside information. Speaking of LEGO designers, we all know that they love to put Easter eggs about themselves in their sets. Well, the earliest and most subtle version of that I could find was in the Sentai Fortress set from 2006. The person who designed this set was Japanese, so for their Easter egg, they added some stickers to the set with Japanese lettering on them, thanking the designer of the set, which is of course them. Stickers are one of the easiest ways for LEGO to add subtle Easter eggs to their sets, and a super niche one can be found in the Hyperspeed Pursuit set from 2009. This set is from Space Police 3, which is a sub-theme of LEGO Space. On the back left part of the ship, there's a sticker that says, "I heart insectoids," and this is actually a reference to the Insectoids line, another sub-theme of LEGO Space that hasn't been around since 1999. LEGO absolutely loves to reference themselves in themes they've made, and it's even done in sets from LEGO Ideas. In the LEGO DeLorean set from 2013, there are 2 dates listed on the console of the car. One of them is your destination time, and the other is your present time. And the date in red is actually super important in LEGO LEGO history. Like, we literally wouldn't have LEGO without it. This is the day that LEGO officially got the iconic brick design patented. Now, even though these two dates aren't technically accurate to the DeLorean from the movies, LEGO definitely made up for it with this Easter egg. But let's move on to the year 2014 with the Rescue Reinforcements set. This set is from the GOAT of LEGO themes, the LEGO Movie, and the Easter eggs in here are actually callbacks to old themes, just like the Insectoids Easter egg. This set comes with 5 minifigures, but there are 2 in particular I want you to look at. The girl minifigure is wearing a shirt from Fabuland, and the guy minifigure is wearing a shirt with the Blacktron logo on it. Fabuland is a pretty old LEGO theme that ran from 1979 to 1989, and was the first LEGO theme to revolve around a story. And Blacktron was the name of the villain group in the original LEGO space theme, so both of these minifigures are callbacks in and of themselves. Now, I definitely like these Easter eggs, but LEGO kicked it up a notch with this next one. This is the Parisian artwork set, and you won't believe how cool the Easter egg is here. This set is part of the modular buildings theme, so there are honestly a ton of Easter eggs to choose from here, but I want to focus on the 3rd floor. In the LEGO universe, an artist is said to live up here, and if we take a look at her paintings, they seem oddly familiar. Well, they're actually a nod to the original color palette that LEGO used back in the day. This color palette was inspired by Piet Mondrian's art, making this Easter egg somewhat of a double whammy. Everyone loves a good 2-for-1 Easter egg, so let me show you another one. In the Scooby-Doo Mummy Mystery set from 2015, there's a huge LEGO reference hiding perfectly in plain sight. The thing is though, it's referencing a pretty old theme, so the target audience for this set definitely missed it. On the right pillar, there's a picture of Johnny Thunder, the main character from the LEGO Adventurers theme. This theme ran from 1998 to 2003, and Johnny explored a lot of different places in that time. But the one we care about right now is Egypt. There are 25 sets under the Egypt theme of adventure, so Johnny was there pretty often, and I guess one of those times he ended up in a mummy museum and left a souvenir. It's always fun when LEGO bridges 2 completely separate universes like this, but it's even better when they do it with movies. In the Ghostbusters Firehouse set, there are a million different Easter eggs all over the place, but there's one 2x2 tile piece in here that just screams LEGO. The piece's technical name is 3068BPB0950, and it's actually a reference to Time magazine. In the first Ghostbusters movie from 1984, the team was on the cover of Time once their business started taking off. They were called a supernatural success story, but since LEGO probably didn't want to get in any legal trouble, they replaced the Time logo with the word brick and wrote Ghostbusters on the cover instead. LEGO slipped in a lot of sneaky secrets with these tile pieces, but one of the craziest ones was this map piece in the Treehouse Adventure set from 2017. Now, technically speaking, this piece has been in 29 different sets, but I just talked about one from 2017 to keep the timeline in order. Now, knowing this, you'd think it'd just be some random map that LEGO keeps reusing to save time and money. But this map has an origin you won't believe. This piece debuted in 2008 in the Indiana Jones motorcycle chase set. And at first, people just thought it was a random map. But after they took a closer look, they realized that this is the same map that was used to find the Holy Grail in Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. So basically, LEGO's just been using an Indiana Jones map in random sets since 2008, which I think is pretty funny. This is a super niche Easter egg that took people quite a while to put together, but this next one literally never would have been found out if it weren't for the die-hard fans. In 2018, LEGO released the LEGO Batman Movie Series 2 minifigures pack, and it came with a ton of different minifigures from the DC universe. But funnily enough, the Easter egg here isn't even with the minifigures. A lot of them came with pieces to go along with them, and the piece that came with Apache Chief is quite interesting. It seems like the Chief was taking pictures in a photo booth with a monkey and got scared. Well, those die-hard fans I mentioned before took one look at this and put it together immediately. There's a high chance that this monkey is actually Gleek, a sidekick of the Wonder Twins. The Chief fought alongside these twins pretty often, so odds are pretty high that this monkey really is Gleek. Okay, we've gotten pretty far in LEGO's Easter egg history, so for this next one, I want to show you guys a true milestone in their journey. This is the LEGO Nintendo Entertainment System set, and if you know anything about LEGO Easter eggs, then you definitely know where I'm going with this. Obviously, this set is already super cool in general, but if you take off the back panel, it reveals an oddly familiar looking setup. This hidden part is actually the end of level 1-2 in the original Super Mario Bros. Game. It's one of the most popular Easter eggs in LEGO history, and while it's definitely one of the coolest, this next one might just be better. In the Boutique Hotel set, there's a piece of art on the wall in the lobby that, just like the Mario level, looks oddly familiar. The Boutique Hotel is part of the modular buildings theme, and if we've learned anything about LEGO so far, it's that they love to make references about other sets in the same theme. Well, this artwork is actually made by the same artist who lives on the 3rd floor of the Parisian restaurant. And how do I know this? Well, LEGO actually tells you directly in the instructions for the set. I don't know about you, but I absolutely love it when LEGO brings Easter eggs full circle like this, and keeps them alive. It's why Easter eggs like the Jedi Bob set and the Johnny Thunder cameo in Scooby-Doo are so cool to me. It really just shows how dedicated they are. This boutique hotel set dropped in 2022. So to finish off the history lesson, let me tell you about the Legend of Zelda Deku Tree set, which dropped just last year in 2024. Now, since this set is based on a video game, there are a ton of different Easter eggs to choose from, so I'll keep it short and only mention a few. For starters, this set can be built in 2 different ways, and if you want to find these Easter eggs, you'll need to build the version with green leaves instead of pink. If you take off a piece on the right side of the tree, you'll see a few yellow pieces steadily going up, almost like a staircase, or in this case, music notes. These yellow pieces are actually the sheet music for Saria's song, which is played on an instrument called the ocarina. Now, since this tree is symmetrical, there's also an Easter egg on the right. This side has a bow and arrow along with a red, blue, and yellow piece sitting on top of it. Well, these actually represent the fairy bow and the fire, ice, and light arrows which you can unlock in the game. These Easter eggs are pretty cool since they're directly from the Zelda games, so I thought it'd be a pretty good way to end off the video. You guys seem to really like LEGO Easter eggs, so if you want to see a video where I find some that you've never seen before, let me know down in the comments, and if enough of you want it, I'll do it. This limited edition LEGO set, called the LEGO System House, was exclusively made for the LEGO Inside Tour in 2019. Only 80 of these sets were made, and since they were only available at the Inside Tour, it wasn't around for very long. It's a pretty small set depicting the LEGO company building in Billund, Denmark, and funnily enough, this set has an insane secret. Usually, LEGO bricks are made by melting plastic at extremely high temperatures and pouring it into molds, but one of the pieces in this set was actually made by a 3D printer. To be honest, if it wasn't for the internet, I'd have no idea that LEGO ever even did something like this, but it almost seems like LEGO didn't even want people to find out about it. On the inside, this set has 3 different rooms, one of which contains the secret 3D printed piece. This thing isn't even visible once the set's been fully built, so unless you built one of the 80 sets yourself, there's no way you know about it. I have to say, this is a pretty well kept LEGO secret, but it's got nothing on some of the other ones in this video, so be sure to watch until the end. This is the LEGO Wooden Duck set, and you won't believe what you had to do to be able to get your hands on one of these guys right here. Believe it or not, it was actually a limited edition Christmas gift that was only handed out to LEGO employees back in 2016. But in case that isn't enough for you, there's still more to uncover here. Back before LEGO was making bricks, they actually made wooden toys, and this LEGO set is an exact replica of the classic wooden duck, one of LEGO's earliest toys. This is a super nostalgic set that not a lot of people know about, but there's actually still one little secret left. Using the string that's attached to the body, you can wheel this set around wherever you want, and when you do, the bill actually moves up and down, making it look like the duck is quacking. Isn't that great? This secret is pretty good, but that isn't the only LEGO secret that involves a duck. But this next one needs a bit of context. In a comic series by Stuart Moore, the superhero Deadpool and Howard the Duck got mixed together, and for some reason, LEGO really liked how that looked and decided to create a minifigure out of it. This is the Deadpool Duck minifigure, and the only way you could have gotten it was if you attended the San Diego Comic-Con back in 2017. In case you didn't know, LEGO absolutely loves hosting raffles at the San Diego Comic-Con. They've been doing it for years, and the items are usually only ever available through the raffle. As you can imagine, this causes them to garner a crazy price tag. The Deadpool Duck is worth around $1,500, and even though that's a super high number, it's actually on the low end for a lot of minifigures given away at Comic-Con. But believe it or not, there's an even more secret minifigure that's worth $1,000 less than this one. This is the LEGO Batman Zuranar minifigure, and even though it looks super sick, it's actually only worth $500. It was available at the San Diego Comic-Con back in 2014, so it's actually older than the Deadpool Duck. For some reason though, the price is way lower. That is, if it isn't in the original packaging. If you happen to have this minifigure in the blister pack it came in originally, the value jumps up $1,000. So if you have this thing laying around for whatever reason, I suggest you lock it up in a vault or something. Up next is a promotional piece for one of the biggest games in sports. This is the LEGO Stanley Cup, and it's literally the Stanley Cup but branded in LEGO. This thing is from all the way back in 2004, and the only way you could have gotten it was if you bought this, the LEGO Championship Challenge set. In my opinion, this is one of the coolest LEGO pieces I've ever seen, and I didn't even know it existed. For that reason alone, it more than qualifies to be on my list of secrets. So let's move on on to the next item. Up next is a minifigure that was only available at the grand opening of the LEGO store in London. The secret minifigure I'm talking about is this guy right here, named Lester. He truly embodies the spirit of British culture. With his bowler hat, umbrella, and distinctive Union Jack coat, he's got the whole package. But since he was such a well-kept secret, he's pretty hard to come by. I mean, you literally had to be at the store when it opened in London. Who could have ever known that? Up next is an item that's based on a literal space probe. This is the LEGO Ulysses Space Probe set, and it was only available for LEGO VIP members. This exclusive set was sold on the LEGO.com VIP rewards website on April 14th, 2021 at exactly 9 a.m. So many VIP members tried to get this set that the website started having multiple issues. But even through all of that, it's still sold out in under 15 minutes. Now, you might be wondering, why would a set of a space probe sell out so fast? Well, it's because this set is modeled after a real space probe. It was made by NASA and in 1990 set out on a journey to study the sun, which is actually pretty cool. For some reason though, LEGO didn't want this thing to be available to everyone, so they made it for VIP members instead. I have to say, this is pretty disappointing. This is one that I would have liked to build for sure. Up next is an item that was given away at the 2023 San Diego Comic-Con, but this one wasn't in a raffle. This is the LEGO Masters gift set, and the only way you could have gotten it was if you beat the scavenger hunt that LEGO set up that year. The set isn't worth all that much, but it honestly looks super sick. It comes with 107 pieces, and once it's fully built, you literally own a set that was given to you by LEGO themselves. I think I need to buy a ticket for next year's Comic-Con in San Diego. It seems like there's always some secret LEGO stuff going on there. This next item isn't much of a secret, but that isn't why I put it on this list. This is the one of two 14 karat gold Boba Fett minifigure. And as I said before, this minifigure is no secret. So why am I including it in this video? Well, it's because no one actually knows where these minifigures are. There are two major LEGO Star Wars collectors in the LEGO community. The first one is Rarest LEGO Minifigures on Instagram, and the other one is Lego Man Scotland on Instagram. It's speculated that one of these guys owns one of the two minifigures. So where's the other one? Well, the truth is, nobody really knows. The closest people came to finding it was when a kid on YouTube posted an unboxing of his one of two gold Boba Fett, but it turned out to be custom made. So the fact is, the whereabouts of these ultra rare minifigures is completely unknown, and whoever owns them is probably keeping it a secret on purpose. I mean, I can't say I blame them. These things are worth a ton of money. Anyways, let's move on from hyper rare minifigures and get back to a secret LEGO set. This is the LEGO Vesta Wind Turbine set. Now, officially, there are two versions of this set, one of which was released pretty recently, back in 2018. But that's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one from 2008 that was only given to some lucky Vesta employees. The set was actually pretty small, containing just over 800 pieces and only having 3 minifigures. But what LEGO didn't tell you was that they actually used mechanics from LEGO Power Functions in this set. Once you hook up all the wires and motors, the wind turbine actually spins on its own, and it lasts for hours. But since this set was released in 2018, the original got completely overshadowed, making it a little hard to know that it even existed in the first place. If you ask me, I'd say that makes it pretty secret. Up next is a set that was only on the shelves for a year before it was retired, the Black Pearl. The LEGO Black Pearl set is a highly detailed and sought-after set from the Pirates of the Caribbean theme. It was released in 2011, has 804 pieces, and includes 6 minifigures, 4 of which were only ever sold in this set. It was retired in September of 2012 after only 11 months of availability. So if you weren't paying attention, you were out of luck. These days, a sealed Black Pearl set can sell for over $1,000, with some listings reaching as high as $2,200. The set is super sought after among LEGO creators and enthusiasts, not only because of how limited it was, but also because of the rare minifigures and the fact that it's literally the Black Pearl. I mean, come on, we all want to go for a ride on that ship, am I right? Up next is a set from one of the best LEGO themes ever. This is the LEGO Ferrari F40 from the Creator Expert theme. In case you didn't know, Creator Experts contains some of the most challenging sets in all of LEGO, which means when they're fully built, they look incredible, and the Ferrari F40 is no exception. The set was released in 2015 and was only available for a limited time before it was retired from production. It contains 1,158 pieces and features numerous authentic details. This is just what you would expect from the Creator Experts line. And to be honest, the line itself is pretty secret all on its own. But since since the Ferrari F40 is such a famous car, I had to let you guys know that there's a Lego set for it. Up next is another super rare minifigure from the San Diego Comic-Con. This is the Green Arrow minifigure, and it's from all the way back in 2013. I don't know what it is, but it seems like Lego really likes giving away minifigures from Lego DC at Comic-Con. I mean, there are so many that I can hardly keep track. Anyways, the minifigure is decked out in a highly detailed outfit complete with his iconic bow. The intricate design and accurate representation of the Green Arrow character makes this minifigure a must-have for collectors looking to expand their superhero-themed Lego sets. That's a pretty tall order though, because this guy usually sells for around $4,000. If you think this price is bad though, you're gonna hate the next one. This is the Lego Black Suit Superman minifigure, and it was released at the same Comic-Con as Green Arrow. While this may be the case, Black Suit Superman is worth more than double what Green Arrow is worth. Yeah, this thing sells for upwards of $10,000. Only 200 of these minifigures were given to winners at the San Diego Comic-Con, but that price tag is still ridiculous. Up next is a Lego set that's similar to the Vesta set from before. This is the Lego Tree of Creativity set from 2018, and even though it's retired now, it isn't rare at all. Loads of people bought this set when it was available, but what a lot of them didn't know was that this set had actually already been distributed, just not in the way you'd think it'd be. The year before it released in 2017, 175 of these sets were given out to attendees of the LEGO Inside Tour. But since it got released again in 2018, how would anyone know if you had an original one from 2017? Well, all 175 of the sets were actually numbered, and LEGO only does this with the exclusive sets from the Inside Tour, so it's really easy to tell. The sets from the tour have sold for over $3,000, while the ones from 2018 sell for about $100, which is a really big difference considering the sets are basically identical. Regardless, this is another one of those instances where LEGO was definitely trying to hide the original set from the world. Nice try, LEGO, but we got you. Up next is a super rare item from LEGO Bionicle. This is the LEGO Bionicle Mask of Creation, one of the most significant components of the entire Bionicle franchise. The LEGO Bionicle Mask of Creation is considered to be one of the rarest LEGO items in all of Bionicle, and it's for good reason. This mask was only ever featured in one set, the Mask Maker vs. Skull Grinder set. It was released back in 2015 and retired less than a year later, so you had barely any time to get one of these sets. I think it's safe to say that if you somehow missed this set, you probably never even knew this mask existed in real life. Up next is a set that was made in collaboration with the shipping company Maersk. This is the LEGO Line Container Ship from all the way back in 2010. It was part of the Advanced Model series, which makes it a lot rarer than you may think. The Advanced Model series was around from the year 2000 to 2014, but in those 14 years, only 31 sets were made for the entire series. Because of this, the series as a whole was kept pretty secret, which doesn't really make much sense to me. Regardless, the ship itself is pretty cool, and the fact that it's from such a secret LEGO theme makes it way cooler. Up next is a pair of Marvel minifigures that are probably worth more than your bank account. These are the LEGO Iron Man and Captain America minifigures. But this time, they aren't from Comic-Con. They're actually from the New York Toy Fair. These two guys were given away at the fair back in 2012, and even though they don't look like much, trust me, there's a big story here. Instead of being your regular Marvel minifigures, these guys are actually comic book versions, not like their counterparts from the movies. They've only ever been released at the 2012 New York Toy Fair, and because of this, they're worth right around $10,000. Now, even though these guys may be worth a lot, they fly under the radar of a lot of LEGO fans since they weren't from Comic-Con. Man, all this talk of expensive minifigures is getting me a little hopeful. I might have to check my own collection and see if I have anything that's actually worth something. Up next is another set from the LEGO Inside Tour, but this one is way more rare than the Tree of Creativity. This is the LEGO Old Kirk's House set that was given to attendees of the 2009 LEGO Inside Tour. And believe it or not, only 32 copies were produced, making it one of the rarest LEGO sets ever. The set is a recreation of the real-life home of old Kurt Christensen, the original founder of LEGO. The set was later repackaged and reproduced for LEGO employees as a gift. However, the original old Kirk's house remains highly valuable and sought after by collectors. One signed and numbered set recently went up for auction and is expected to sell for as much as $2,500. But I mean, this is no surprise to me though. We're literally talking about the founder of LEGO here. Last but certainly not least on my list is the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon. But I'm not talking about the one on the LEGO LEGO website right now. The one that I'm talking about is from all the way back in 2007. This absolute beast gets overshadowed by the new and improved one we have today, but we can't forget our roots. It's long been known as the most valuable LEGO set to date, and it shows. In one Las Vegas auction, a first edition in an airtight case sold for $15,000. So fortunately, it seems like not everyone has forgotten about it. Did you know that there are technically no pink LEGO bricks? LEGO was originally made in Denmark, and Danish doesn't have a word for the color pink. Funnily enough though, there is actually a LEGO piece that uses the word pink. It's called flamingo pink, but it wasn't used for a flamingo. It was used for these pink flowers way back in 2006. It was only in 2 sets and it hasn't been back since, which makes it a pretty rare LEGO color. Flamingo pink isn't the only color that has some value to it though. There's a color known as sand green that has a bit of a story to it. It was first introduced with the Statue of Liberty set back in 2000. Now, even though sand green bricks are technically in hundreds of LEGO sets, this is the only one where you can get a bunch of them in one go. This set is valued at around $6,000, which is crazy for a LEGO set. Because of this, the value of individual sand green bricks went up as well. While we're on the topic of the color green, I want to direct your attention to the LEGO Minecraft Frozen Peak set. At first glance, you might not notice anything, but I'm sure if any Minecraft lovers are watching, you guys noticed right away. For some reason, Steve seems to be wearing bright green armor. In case you didn't know, there's a material in Minecraft called emerald, but it isn't possible to make armor out of it. The only way to make green armor in Minecraft is to dye leather, but it looks nothing like what Steve has on in this set. I don't really know what happened, but someone definitely messed up. This next LEGO item is sure to make you scratch your head. This is the LEGO Golf gift set. And guess what? There's not a single brick in this entire product. This is actually a super rare LEGO themed golf set that was given out to employees as a gift for a very short period of time. As you can see, everything that comes with this set is branded with the LEGO logo, so it definitely isn't fake. This item is so rare that Bricklink doesn't even have any listed. So if you somehow have one of these things, you have an insanely rare piece of LEGO history. Up next is something you'd only notice if you knew LEGO like the back of your hand. This is the LEGO Mobile Police Dog Training Set, and as you can see, there's a pretty odd looking minifigure here. It's supposed to look like one of those dog trainers that wears a protective suit for bite training. Usually this would be impossible to pull off with a regular minifigure, so LEGO decided to repurpose the cactus minifigure. This is a super cool example of LEGO thinking outside the box, but stick around because there are some more that are way crazier than this. For you to know this next secret, you'd have to have tracked a character across the LEGO universe for 6 whole years. This is Infernox from the Power Miners theme. He was originally made in 2010 and was featured in the Clawcatcher set. Obviously, he's a very small rock monster here, but in a set from 2016, he turned into this. This is the Infernox Captures the Queen set from the Nexo Knights theme, and as the name says, this giant monster is Infernox. I don't know what this guy did to get so massive in just 6 years, but it's safe to say there's no way I would have noticed this without the help of the internet. This next secret was technically available to the public, but it's so old that I don't even remember it existing. This is the LEGO Avatar: The Last Airbender theme, released in 2006. This theme was based on the Nickelodeon show Avatar: The Last Airbender, one of the most popular kids shows ever. Only 2 sets were made for this theme, which is really weird considering how big this show was. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but clearly this theme wasn't meant to happen, because the whole thing was scrapped a year after it was introduced. Speaking of famous kids shows, did you know that LEGO made a SpongeBob theme too? The theme was originally brought out all the way back in 2007, with the debut set being Mrs. Puff's Boating School. The theme was retired in 2013, but in the 6 years it was around, only 14 sets were made in total. Makes you wonder why LEGO decided to keep it around for so long, since basically nothing happened with it. Up next is a super cool Easter egg in the Nintendo Entertainment System set. The coolest part about this Easter egg is the only way you know about it is if you actually built the set yourself. But these days we have the internet, so we can skip that step. On the back of the console, there's a removable panel that reveals a very familiar looking setup. Upon closer look, people figured out that it was the 1-2 level from the original Mario game. Even cooler than this was the fact that the level was underground and had a black background, making its location in the set very accurate and nostalgic. For this next secret, you'd really have to be in the loop to know that it's even there. This is the London bus set, and the Easter egg here lies within the license plate. If you didn't know, LEGO is notorious for making all sorts of references on their car license plates, with a bunch of them being in the set for James Bond's car. But for the London bus, the black license plate on the front showcases the set number and the initials of the designer of the set, Martin Graf Wang. I guess when you're a LEGO designer, you get to do cool stuff like add your own initials to sets. Pretty cool. While we're on the topic of LEGO references, let's take a look at the Galaxy Cruiser set from 2022. Fun fact about this set, it's actually a remake of a much older version from all the way back in 1979. It's a classic LEGO set that a lot of people love, so the remake had a lot of hype. On the new version's radar screen, you can see a logo for a group called Blacktron. They were the bad guys from the classic space line. People thought this was just a cool Easter egg until LEGO released a new and improved Blacktron Cruiser set in 2023. On the radar screen in this set was a picture of the Galaxy Cruiser, so the Easter egg was brought full circle. For this next secret, I want to switch gears and tell you about some sets you might not even know exist. Every year, LEGO hosts this crazy tour of their original factory in Denmark. It lasts a whole 3 days and is the perfect getaway for any LEGO fanatic. The problem is that it can get pretty expensive, so a lot of people tend to steer clear of it. What they don't know though is that they're actually missing out on LEGO sets that can only be purchased at the inside tour. Sets like Ole Kirk's house, a model of the founder of LEGO's house, or the LEGO Truck Show set, a set that tells the story of a real LEGO truck show that happened across Europe. These sets and so many more were available at the LEGO Inside Tour, but if you thought about buying them, guess again, because they're only available for a singular year, making the resale value insanely high. Another insanely secret LEGO set is the Christmas X-Wing set. It's a complete reskin of the iconic X-Wing from Star Wars. This set wasn't even available to the public though, so there's no way you could have gotten your hands on it. That is, unless you worked for LEGO during the holidays in 2019. This set was actually given out to LEGO employees as Christmas gifts that year. Yeah, you literally had to work for LEGO to be able to get this thing, which is a shame to be honest. I think I can speak for all of us when I say that I'd buy this thing instantly. This wasn't the only gift given out to LEGO employees though. This is a solid gold LEGO brick. It's made of 14 karat gold and was also given out to people who worked for LEGO. The brick wasn't given to just anyone though. You had to have been working at the Hohenwestedt factory in Germany for 25 years to get this. Along with this, it was only given out 2 or 3 times, all the way back in 1979, making it one of the rarest LEGO products to ever exist. Up next is a LEGO secret you'd only notice if you were really paying attention. This is the dark saber from Star Wars. It's been seen many times, but most famously in the show The Mandalorian. Since this show got so big, LEGO made a super sick version of the dark saber and threw it in with the Mandalorian set. What you might not know though is that this isn't the first dark saber that LEGO's released. The dark saber has been around for ages in the Star Wars universe, so before it was as known as it is today, LEGO didn't really need to worry about it. This is the original dark saber, and it's only been featured in 2 sets ever, the Mandalorian Speed and Pre-Vizsla's Mandalorian fighter sets. So if you have this thing laying around somewhere, you've got a pretty rare lightsaber on your hands. While we're talking about LEGO Star Wars, I want to show you a minifigure you might not have seen before. This is Max Rebo, and unlike the dark saber, this guy is only available in 1 LEGO set, Jabba's Sail Barrage. Max Rebo is a musician for Jabba the Hutt's band. His screen time was very limited, and he didn't have 1 line in any of the movies. Combine all of these factors, and you end up with a pretty unknown minifigure. Okay, so we all know LEGO isn't perfect, and sometimes they make some pretty insane mistakes. This one though is on a whole other level. This is a LEGO City Sheriff minifigure. Looks pretty normal, right? Well, imagine you bought a LEGO City set with one of these in it, just to open up the set and see this thing fall out. This is by far the minifigure with the biggest dome in history. If you have any questions about anything LEGO related, make sure you ask this guy. For this next secret, I need you to try not to go insane. Here we have a LEGO sausage piece. There's nothing special about it, it's just a regular old sausage. What makes this piece so interesting is how LEGO uses it. It's by far the most versatile LEGO piece in LEGO history. It's been used for all sorts of different things, like stems in wildflowers, eyebrows on the Statue of Liberty, and support beams on the Eiffel Tower. This piece has been around since 1998, and since its initial release, LEGO's remade it in 13 different colors, allowing them to use it however they want. This isn't the only weird piece LEGO has done this with though. They've also done it with a frog, most famously on the bonsai tree set. If you look close enough, you'll notice that every single pink leaf is actually a frog, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. LEGO can get super creative with stuff like this, and it's made for some very memorable sets. For this next secret, I have to tell you guys about an Easter egg that's from outside of LEGO. In every Pixar movie, there's a reference to the sequence A113. The reason for this is because it's the classroom at the California Institute of Art where students learn to animate. Most alumni from this school ended up at Pixar, so they wanted to honor the classroom classroom in their movies. Funnily enough, this actually got carried over into LEGO. This is a spy jet escape set, and it's based on a scene from Cars 2. If you look on the back of the plane, you can actually see A113 printed right on it. I guess LEGO never backs down from a bit. Up next is another reference that's exactly where it belongs. This is the Indiana Jones Lost Tomb set from the Raiders of the Lost Ark movie. This secret reference is a little difficult to find, so I'll point it out to you. Up at the top of the set, there's a flat LEGO piece with some hieroglyphs on it, but they aren't all hieroglyphs. Two of them are actually the outlines of R2-D2 and C-3PO from Star Wars. Now, you might be wondering what these two are doing in an Indiana Jones set. Well, the creator of Indiana Jones is actually the same guy who made Star Wars, George Lucas. Maybe this is the crossover he always dreamed of but could never make happen. Not every reference made in LEGO sets is happy though. One of the more sad ones can be found in the Ghostbusters HQ set from 2016. On one of the investigation boards, the phrase RIP-HR is written very clearly on one of the pieces of paper. This is actually there to honor the passing of Harold Ramis. The actor played the character Egon Spengler in the movie and also wrote the scripts for Ghostbusters 1 and 2. RIP Harold Ramis. He was a true legend. On a more positive note, let's take a look at the A-frame cabin set. This set actually has a few really cool details, and then a really funny one you might not notice. In the attic of the set, there's a spider sitting on one of the rafters, and in the back of the house, there's a piece that's supposed to replicate an outdoor shower. Pretty neat. The funny detail in this set though is that the stones that support the house are actually made up of Thor's hammer. Jeez, I knew Asgard fell, but I didn't know it fell that hard. Another set the LEGO designers loved making references in was the Hogwarts Castle and Grounds set from the Harry Potter theme. The list is a little long, so stay with me here. There are rooms for the key room, the chess room, and the room for the Sorcerer's Stone itself. There's also the Whomping Willow with Ron's car stuck in it, the Chamber of Secrets, and even the Potions classroom. This thing is absolutely loaded with references, and is the perfect LEGO set for any Harry Potter fan. The big version also happens to have some references too, the biggest one being the number of pieces in the set. Every LEGO set has a number on the box telling you how many pieces it is. For this set, 6,020 pieces were used to make it, which is insanely high. The secret here is that this number is actually referencing the Magic Shop set, one of the earliest LEGO sets that includes a wizard. I guess the Wizarding World goes a little farther than Harry Potter. Now, I'm not too sure what it is, but for some reason, LEGO loves putting references in smaller versions of giant sets. This is the mini Disney Castle set, and these references aren't too easy to see. If you manage to look through the front door, you'll see 3 black nano figures inside. From here, you'll have to remove the top, but after this, you'll find a piece dedicated to the original Disney Castle set and a piece dedicated to Cinderella's glass slippers. These two items are huge parts of both LEGO and Disney, so to see them referenced here is really interesting. Last but not least on my list is the Homer Simpson Brickhead set. It's a known fact that Homer Simpson is pretty dumb and really likes donuts, so LEGO decided to add a few details to Homer's brickhead. First, instead of using a normal size pink brick for the brain, they used a much smaller one. And second, if you remove Homer's stomach, you'll open it up to find a bunch of donuts sitting in it, since he eats them literally all the time. LEGO truly is one of the most dedicated companies of all time. What was your favorite secret in this video? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.